Need life coaching? Rescue, Refine, Restore Coaching and Counseling with Dr. Cint Gilstrap is a life transformational coach and has experiential training to transform and help you discover your best life yet. For all of your coaching and counseling needs, simply visit www.cgmenterprises.org.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rescue, Refine, Restore Coaching and Counseling. You are in for a treat tonight. Listen, it's Friday in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am none other than your host on tonight, Dr. Cint Gilstrap, and we are in the life coaching mode. I'm excited. I'm always excited when we have these type of conversations and discussions. We've so far have talked about and had discussions about narcissism and dealing with and living with people that have narcissistic tendencies. We've also had discussions about abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, elderly abuse, financially abuse, all of the different topics of conversations that we've had, different genres of information and topics have came on this platform. And tonight we're going to share with you another entity. We talked about so many different facets of pain, how we have literally came into pain, growing up with pain, dealing with pain as a teenager, as an adolescent, as a young adult, whatever age you may be. One thing we're able to identify with, and that is pain. Well, on tonight, we're coming from a different avenue. We're going to talk about the recovery of trauma from a different perspective. We're throwing a twist in on you all tonight. We understand the dynamics of pain, but we need to also discuss the afterlife, the aftermath, the recovery process. And so we're going to do that tonight. So with that being said, I'm so honored to have a very powerful woman on the call with us tonight. And you all keep in mind, we're doing life coaching tonight. We're not preachers. However, we're preachers by nature, but this is not a spiritual setting. Although God is everywhere, we're going to talk about the natural and the spiritual. Let me say that. So those of you that are listening, you're going to get a variety of conversation on tonight. We're not going to do one dimensional. We're going to talk about a plethora of different things. And we pray and we hope that this segment of Rescue, Refine, Restore Coaching and Counseling will impact your life for change. This is a transformation platform. And what we're looking for is a holistic change in your life. We have a powerful guest on the call. She comes with wisdom. She comes with testimonials. She comes with confidence. She comes with a lot of peace. She is a prayer warrior in her own right, but she also is a survivor. And that's what we're going to focus on tonight, the survivor that's in her. And she's going to share how she was able to get through the pain, the trauma, the triggers, the death sentences. Oh my God, the death sentences, the thought of suicide, depression, oppression, all the things that she had to battle and she had to face. So this conversation is about someone on the call tonight, someone that will go back, tag, share, and invite all that you can in your hearing on tonight. I introduce to some and present to others, none other than Prophetess Lecretia Roscoe to the platform on tonight. Come on and put your hands together. Woo, woo, for my, oh, look at my, I love you, Tasman. I am so excited about this conversation. And I know you are, because we've been talking about it the whole week.
Yes.
So I'm definitely excited, and you can just relax. You don't have to be still. We just gonna just really talk, just have a conversation. That's all we're going to do. And so tonight, I asked God last week, because we always talk about dealing with, pain, and we talk about the different types of pain. And, most of us as women, as females, because this is Women's Day. So happy Women's Day. But most of the time we talk about all of the auspices of what we had to deal with pain. We know I know in our culture, Black women have been molested. We have been raped. We have been rejected by mothers. We have been abandoned by fathers. We have been in domestic violent situations. But tonight we're talking about the recovery and the trauma, recovering from the trauma. So that's where we are tonight. And I'm definitely excited about this conversation because we talk about those things, but we need to talk about the recovery and how
Right.
to live past the pain. And so, with that being said, I want to discuss. I want you to first touch on what you've went through. Just quickly, just touch on it, and then I want us to move into the healing process. What did it take for us, you to have to heal? What was that like? But touch on some of the things that you went through.
God bless you, Apostle. It's a blessing and an honor to be here once again. Oh, I tell you, it's a blessing to be on this side of recovery. You know,
Mm,
growing up, I had a praying mother, loving mother, still do. She's still in the land of the living, prayer warrior. We went to church, we fast, we prayed. But along that journey, I was being molested. And my mom never knew, because a lot of times when you are a child and you are being touched in places, and I knew that was wrong, because that's what I was taught as a little girl growing up, that no
mhm,
one is to touch you in places.
mhm,
And it started at the age of 5, you know,
mhm,
and it went all the way up till I was 11 years old. And it was
mhm,
different ones, male and female. And I didn't tell my mom, because sometimes when people start doing things they know it's wrong, they tell you it's your secret. And if you
mhm.
tell it, I'm gonna kill your mother, or I'm gonna
Yep,
kill your father, or
yep, yep.
somebody that's close to your heart, and you
Right,
saying to yourself, you want to protect your mom, you want to protect the ones you love, so
right,
you
right.
don't tell. You won't tell. You know what I'm saying? You will not tell anybody. You want to keep it quiet. And I began to have uh trauma where I didn't sleep at night.
Mhm,
uh I knew to pray, so many nights I never knew what it was to sleep. I had a lot of demonic attacks against my life. So
mhm,
I just stayed up and look at the window and look out and say, how, I love you, God, different things like that. And when you are being touched and you being molested, you don't think like a child anymore.
mhm.
Your mind begin to shift
Yeah.
from a child's mind to
Yep.
an adult mind.
Yep.
And I begin to want to be ahead of my time,
Right. Right.
um, do things a little bit more faster. I
Mhm.
want to know about, instead of dreaming about jump ropes and playing with dolls and things that we supposed to as a 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9 on up. um I started dreaming about demonic things. I was dreaming that I was having sex at a very young age. I just, and that's a torment to the mind. I begin to have headaches and nosebleeds, and I begin to tell lies, hiding. Um and it torments you, it traumas you. I didn't want no one to hurt my mom, so it kept going all the way till I was 11. It kept going, and then I started liking it. Tell the truth, a lot of people don't understand. Children, you'll start liking it as a child.
What you start liking, the dreams or the feelings?
I started liking the feelings. I wanted
Mm.
to be touched. I thought that was a little love. I felt like I was a big girl,
Mm.
even though I was not a big girl.
Mm. How interesting.
I felt like I was a big girl, and I wanted to be cute. I wanted to be touched. I dreamed of being touched like that again.
Mm. So
And
are you saying you was dreaming like that on a continuous basis, or it's just every now and again?
it became a everyday thing. It
So after
became
you were molested and raped, and you began to dream of having sex in your dreams. So were these spirits you were having sex, incubus or a succubus spirit, or these are actually entities or people that you saw?
It was like it didn't matter what age they were.
Mm,
It wasn't a child. I was having intimacy in my dream with adults of different
wow.
color. It didn't matter if they was white, black, brown.
So you found yourself having these dreams and having orgasms while you were actually in the dream. So when you came out of it, then you realized that you literally in your mind was unconscious, but you really went through the entire dynamics of the
Yes,
feelings.
yes,
That's
yes,
very interesting. I wonder how many other people have dealt with that same thing, but have never talked about or stated that they begin to like a feeling. And I'm saying that because when I think about a young boy that's been molested and then
mm-hmm,
they grow up being homosexual, I
mm-hmm,
would think in my natural mind, if the person that hurt you was male, you would be closer to a woman. But maybe they have had these same instances that you had, that in their mind they begin to enjoy the feeling because they just think it's a part of normalcy.
yes,
Isn't that something?
yes, yes, it is.
Okay, go
And
ahead.
one was a cousin, and he was a big cousin,
Hmm.
and he was much older than me.
Now,
And
we in the dream or out the dream?
I'm out of the dream now. This
Okay,
is
okay,
real.
okay.
And it was during the time that my mom was not in the home because I was with a family member, my brother and I. And I thank God my brother didn't get the same treatment that I got,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
being touched, um, being lied on. He would tell lies on me to control me.
Mm.
Uh-huh. He would control me. He would say, if you don't do what I tell you, I'm gonna tell mom, I'm gonna tell dad. And they knew I already had problems with telling the truth sometimes.
Mm.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yes.
So through it all, now you shed light on the part of, some of the things that you went through, and you really made that part jump out to me, because I'm pondering now. You're in my head because as a child, that feeling now has overtaken you, and I want to go into the recovery process. But the fact that those feelings begin to overtake you again, is that something that you begin to desire even outside of your sleep? Because
Yes.
when you wake up, then you remember, or you recall, or you even have evidence, that I was intimate in my sleep as a child.
Hmm.
And so when you come out, what type of lifestyle, what's an everyday life after you dream about that as a child?
I started liking boys. I started looking at boys and I started looking at men. And I was wondering, did they see me the way that I saw them?
Mm,
So I'm starting liking bigger boys at a very young age at 7 and 8 and 9. And they're like 14, 15, 16, like that. They much way older than me. So
wow.
I'm liking them, looking at them, grinning, skinning, want to have breasts at a young age, want to come on my monthly at a young age. I want to experience what big girls did at a very
Hmm,
young age.
okay. I guess I'm in there with you, because I can say that, after molestation, you do
Hmm.
have the tendency to begin to be attracted or drawn to the older man.
Hmm.
Because I know that my entire life I've always dated. In high school, of course, it's amazing because I date old in high school, but younger in real life. And so you have a tendency to be drawn to somebody who's more mature or more advanced than you are. to gravitate to that type of behavior because you desire a certain type of satisfaction. That's very interesting that you brought up that point. But what about the feelings of a woman? Was your desires towards another woman as well?
I would look at females, but I was fighting the feeling because I didn't want to go that way. I just didn't want to be in no gay. I didn't want that to even touch my mind. So I would always say I would rather keep sleeping. I'd rather just be with
Mm-hmm,
men,
mm-hmm,
than to want to be with a female. I
mm-hmm,
I had dreams about it, but I didn't want to do that because
mm-hmm.
I knew that was that they taught in church. I was raised in Koji, so they definitely taught that was a no. You know what I'm saying? And my mom, she always told me, if you have these feelings, if this happened, let me know. I didn't want her to think that about me. I didn't want nobody to think that about me, you know. And it was females that had touched me as well. They were older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Adult, one was an adult, and one was a teenager. And so it's almost like I started hating females, kind of like dislike them in a way because of what had been done to me.
Mm. But you didn't feel that way about the men.
No.
Isn't that interesting?
Hmm.
I too can vouch on that one. When you've been
Hmm.
molested or you've been touched prematurely, you actually can go either way. And I thank God that we were strong enough that we went on the masculine side because that's a spirit that literally you can find yourself extremely comfortable in, whether it's with a woman or whether it's with a man. But I thank God that we were able to make the
Right.
masculine decisions. And that is just something I'm still definitely stuck on what you said because I think about that. But when you just said it's like a light bulb came off, and
Hmm.
it's as if you're feeling that way or you experience those things, how many other people have as well, but just don't talk about it. There is
Right.
so many people that walk around, and this is just my guesstimation, that
Hmm.
still harbor a lot of things that occurred to them that they will never tell. I guess
Right.
shame and embarrassment, but with
Right.
that, I mean, I don't know if they're completely healed. What are your thoughts? Do you think that by
You would
pressing
rather
things
take it to the
down?
grave. Yeah, a lot of
Mhm,
times people would rather take those emotions to the grave, but you need to be healed
mhm.
because if you don't be healed, it causes anger, it causes low self-esteem, it causes you to feel like everyone else is better than you.
Wow.
Then you start regretting how you look, and now
Mm,
you want to look like them. I did not want to look like myself. I always thought I was ugly. I never thought I was beautiful at all. No matter how much my mother told me that I was beautiful, um I just always thought I wanted dimples. I wanted brown eyes. I wanted to be shapely. I had a gap in my teeth, and that was a signature on my dad's side, which is beautiful. I have family on that side that have a gap in their mouth, and they embrace it. I didn't like mine because I had someone in my life that told me they to pass on that a gap in your mouth means you're a liar. And so I started
wow.
hating the gap in my mouth. I
Right.
bit my fingernails because as a child and being molested, you try to find things to soothe you. You're too old for a pacifier on a bottle, So I started biting my nails. Some people suck their thumbs or suck their fingers for a pacifier. And that same person told me, you're gonna grow up to be a freak. And she didn't even know I was already being molested and
Wow.
really hurt. But she told me freaks bite the nails. And I'm like,
Mm.
wow, really? I'm
Did it hurt you?
Yeah, it did. It really crippled me for a long time. I hated the gap in my mouth. I hated when I bite my nails, I would always think about I'm gonna grow up to be some kind of freak or something because she said it.
Then what do you think a freak was?
I didn't know.
Yeah. Just
I
the
really
mere
did.
fact that she said it. You know, words are so damaging,
Yes,
especially when you're immature to the things that grown-ups say sometimes. And
yes.
I remember, and I'm gonna say something really harsh, and I'm not gonna get on it because we're talking about recovery right now. But I remember when I was pregnant. And
Hmm.
when I was pregnant, I told the lady at church, and I had just started going to church. I
Hmm.
mean, just fresh into the church. And I was in a deliverance ministry. And I told her, I said, well, I'm pregnant. And she said, well, I'm not telling you to have an abortion, but they're going to call you a Jezebel. I had no idea what a Jezebel was. I
Wow.
was completely naive to anything. That only thing I knew about the Bible was Psalms 27. I didn't know anything else. So it scared me that now I was going to have another name to all of the other names I
Wow.
had in the street. So that it caused me to have an abortion. And that was an unfortunate thing. And then I backslid and I left the church. So when people say things to kids, especially in their innocence, and they have no idea, and then I was taught you don't question adults, or you don't, certain
Right.
things you just don't do. So I didn't never ask the question, but at the end of the day, those are wounds that we have to grow up with. And
Right. Right.
those things sometimes, they never confront. They are never being confronted. And so
Right.
you live with that. Just like you said, there's so certain things that you have to take to the grave. But I thank God that God brought me back to the church. And I went through a lot mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually, again, because I was wounded yet again. And I'm thinking to myself, I could have stayed in the world for this, but nevertheless, here I am doing it again. And I said, God, because I came back this time, I really need you to help me and save me. And he did just that. But that just came back to my memories, because
Yeah.
how dare you? How dare
Right.
she say that to you?
Yeah.
You know, people say such cruel things, but and at what point of your life did you make a decision enough is enough, or you decided that, Lord, I really need to be healed, or you went to your mom or someone for help?
At the age of 11, um, it came out with my mom. I remember the pastor that he passed on. That was our pastor that I grew up, and he told my mom, he said, you need to question your daughter. She has a chip on her shoulder. And mama said, what you mean by that? He said, you need to check and see what's going on inside your daughter's mind. And she would ask me, but like I said, once again, with the molestation and being, I'm gonna hurt your mama, I'm gonna kill your mama, I just didn't want to tell her. But when I got 11, I told her. And when I told my mom, she was furious. She said, how could they come, eat at my house, sleep in my home, and do you this way? How? What, why? And she was ready to really do something to him. And I begged her, please, once again, protecting the abuser,
Mhm,
please
mhm.
don't do it, ma, you know.
Ain't
And
that
she kept
something?
praying with me. Yeah, she kept praying with me, but it stuck with me for so long. I became very promiscuous at the age of 11, all the way up. I had a baby at a very early age, at the age of 16, which I love my son. We the best of friends, but I was 16 years old with a baby. I hurt my mom, because all of this promiscuous, being happy to be with a be with this guy, be with that guy, just want to be loved. All the time it was missing. I was really missing my father. He didn't get to be in my life like, he needed to be, and I needed him to be. Because my dad stayed out of town and I stayed, further away from him. And so I believe that was a crippling as well, not having my dad around to really just show me, mold me in that area. You have a mother that is loving and kind, but you also need a father to teach you that about guys, about this
Mhm,
is a no. Even though my mom said it, but it's something about a father's authority
mhm,
that helps you, to say, oh, okay, I'm not
mhm,
going to do that, even though mom said it, but
mhm,
dad is behind it, letting me know because he is a male. So he's a
mhm.
man. He knows the tricks, the lies, and the deceit, the workout,
That
So
is something.
by the time I was 16, I had not only been molested, but also had been gang raped,
Wow.
raped and molested. And, and it seemed like it was just a trend with me. And I used to ask my mom, I wanted to commit suicide. I took pills. I drank bleach. I drank a glass of bleach to die. I really wanted to die. Many times I would go and find my mom's razor just to know if I could cut my wrist and just die.
Mm,
That was something that also rung with me is suicide. I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't care. I just wanted to die because of the demons that kept taunting me.
mm. So at what okay, so you was 11 years old when you told your mom. We know how your mom responded. And so after you shared with her what occurred, what how she felt, and then we're moving forward. So
Mhm.
that this molestation rate stopped at 11 or other things continue even after you were 11?
By the time I was 16, I had been um raped 3 times.
And so do you think that you were putting yourself in those situations to get raped, or do you think it was just sicknesses that other people around you actually had?
Um, when I was 15 years old, I was somewhere that some people that we trusted, and
Hmm.
they were supposed to protected me.
Hmm.
And the guy that they knew paid them $100
Wow.
to be with me.
Mm.
I was babysitting, and he said, "You want to smoke a joint with me?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't smoke. I didn't smoke weed or anything like that." I said, "No." He said, "You sure you don't want to try?" So everybody had been drinking a little bit before they left. I know I wasn't supposed to have been doing that, but when you're away from home, you be like, "Ooh, I'm 15. Give me a little drink here." I didn't know that they had spiked my drink and put something in the weed. When I came to, he was doing what a man do, and I was 15, he was 21.
Wow.
Once again, I did not want to tell my mom because she really didn't want me to go babysit from the get-go. So
Wow.
once again, I'm keeping that quiet, and a
Hmm.
year later it did come out
Hmm.
from somebody else that came and told my mom what took place. And she said, "I always told you, you didn't have to hide anything from me. Why don't you trust me enough to tell me?"
You know what I found out along the way, and this is just, I don't know, but when somebody wants to get you, they will get the best plan. They will time it out perfect. They'll walk the path. And that has to be psychotic for
Yes,
someone to get you away from somebody who you love only to hurt you to the point of their satisfaction. That
yes,
has to be that's so psychotic, it's ridiculous. And so now we begin to deal with all of these emotions in your life, and knowing that you feel like probably, I don't know, and you can answer it, that you failed your mom because now you have all of these things you told her at 11. It occurred again at 15. Now you have to go back and tell her again. When is enough enough?
yes. Um after all of I started drinking. I became an alcoholic coming on through. Family, friends, we all partying, going on. My mom, I kept coming to her and tell her I want to commit suicide. I didn't want to live anymore. The police brought me to the house because I wanted to jump off the river, jump over into over into the river. Just want to come. I just was miserable. And my mom set me down. She said, "Baby, we're going before the Lord."
Amen.
She said, "It's time." She said, after, going through the trauma, getting married, I was 10 years older than the young man, something I shouldn't have did. But, that's another testimony, another time. Going on through and giving my life to Christ. When God said enough is enough, enough is enough.
How old were you at that age?
29.
So it took you from 11, 15 to really get yourself together at 29? Why you feel like it took so long?
Because I enjoyed what I was doing. My flesh
Understand.
enjoyed partying, sleeping around. Um, I had two personalities. I didn't know.
Ooh, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're gonna come back and talk about that. I'm writing it down. See my pen? I'm writing it down. We will we'll be right back with Rescue Refined Coaching and Counseling with my very special guest, none other than Prophetess Lecretia Roscoe. I'm excited now because she said two personalities. So you all stay tuned for these messages. We'll be right back.
Need life coaching? Rescue, Refine, Restore Coaching and Counseling with Dr. Cint Gilstrap is a life transformational coach and has experiential training to transform and help you discover your best life yet. For all of your coaching and counseling needs, simply visit www.cgmenterprises.org.
And we are back. Listen, this is Rescue Refined Coaching and Counseling. I'm your life coach on tonight, none other than Dr. Cint Gilstrap. And I have an awesome guest with an awesome testimony. You have to tune in order to listen. We're talking about the road to recovery, but we dive into a whole nother avenue. But she said something before we went to commercial break, none other than Prophetess Lecretia Roscoe. And I tell you, I love when she began to tell her stories because it's just so amazing how she has survived, overcome, and still have her right mind. It is something for us to look at an individual, and in me looking at her or me listening to her, uh, it's amazing and phenomenal how she's overcome these things. What we see, the person that's been through it, they don't see. But to
Right.
me, she's a champion. Are you understanding? So we thank God we have her with us tonight. But before we went to commercial break, she said this. She said she had two personalities. Two. What would make a person have multiple personalities after they experience so much trauma? That's the question.
Because when you are hiding behind
Hmm.
the trauma in your life, the rape, the molestation, the abuse, whatever it is that caused the trauma in your life, you begin to hide that. So now you're hiding that spirit makes you split. So you don't talk about that. You hide that little girl, you hide that little boy, you hide that alcoholic spirit, you hide that drug addict spirit, you hide that sexual spirit. You hide it because you don't want to deal with that. So you want to see. I had two personalities. I was Shay in the daytime and I was Penelope at night when I drink.
All right, Penelope. Why
So
Penelope? Why
Pen-
Penelope?
I don't know. I don't know why I picked that name, but Penelope was furious. She was bold. She was, she didn't mind. What's up, baby? How you doing? Watching the man and you're approaching him. Shay, she had her own way. I didn't do all that approaching. But when I drink, oh baby, here come Penelope. She coming out, and she would tell you how she felt too. Didn't care what
Isn't
you
that
thought.
something? So
Yeah,
your alter ego was Penelope, and Penelope was the bold one.
yeah,
Prophet Shay was the one that Shay was the one that stood back and kind of watched things happen. But
yes,
Penelope was the bold one.
yes. I mean, bold, cuss you out, tell you how she feel, and didn't have it became more and more. And then I started doing what men did. I watched the men whistle at him, ask him, about his personal private areas. And I had a gift. I have a gift prophetically, so I could see, certain things. And so Penelope did not mind letting him know, I see and I know, but he didn't know I was gifted.
Listen, that you are saying so many things that could go so many different ways. So at 11 years, your molestation started at 5. At 11, you finally told your mom. You was a babysitter, and then at 15, it occurred again. At
14 and
29,
15.
14 to
14.
15,
Hmm.
and then your mom found out again. And then at 29, you decided to really turn your life around and get things back on track. However, now you're dealing with a multiple personality. The
Yes.
multiple personality that you're dealing with is Penelope and Shay. And so Penelope, I'm assuming, could is overpowering at this point. Do you think you dealt with bipolar, or what the Bible said double-minded? Are you comparing them to be the same?
Yes.
Were you a sociopath? Was you a psychopath? Or is just the trauma that transition you into somebody else? I think I heard Beyonce say she comes Sasha Fierce, and it seems like something just takes over her
Hmm.
body. And could it be
Hmm.
because of the people that you had slept with created you
Yes.
to be this entity within yourself? Because
Yes.
that's something to think. That is something to think about. And so now you're 29, and now you're on the road of recovery. So what is the road of recovery like now?
It is beautiful. I
Mm,
can minister to anyone. I can let them know that being a woman of God is beautiful. You have to go through transitioning. It takes steps. It takes talking. It takes letting go of the anger, the hurt, the pain, the lies. Because you lie, you do lie because you want people to see you a certain way. My mom was there for me. I didn't ever want no one to see me um as I don't know what to say. I always want to seem responsible. My mom always knew that I was a very responsible young, even little, because at the age of 8, my mom was very sickly and she was in a car accident. So I took on the role of mom's sidekick as far as cooking and cleaning, different things like that. So moving on up, I was very responsible for different things, helping raise my brother and sister, help babysitting, going to help other people. So a lot of things I was doing. I thought I was very responsible. And
is
so mhm,
go ahead, finish that out.
um I had to come clean with myself. And it
Okay.
took, it took a long time to do that.
hmm do you think that you became responsible because you had to transition your focus and your attention in another direction, or you were really ready to walk into that responsibility because you knew the things that had occurred? Were you trying to make up time for that so you can show now that not only are you responsible, but you've also matured in who you are because of the healing process?
Yes, and I had a lot of people, different ones that came in my life that God used to help push me.
Mm.
My mom could push me. She push me and her children, my brother and sister so far. And then my belated pastor and his beautiful wife, they Pastor Burns, they push me and they minister, and he had to break things in me to help me to get to the place that I needed to go. And from there, God started allowing other people coming in my life and ministering like big sisters, and they had to move on because they was only there temporary. And God pushed me to meet evangelist Cherise Pringle, and I thank God for her because I met you. And you guys have been a blessing. I tell you, y'all have been a blessing in my life. And I thank God for everyone that got used. Bishop and Prophetess had not been there at their church, and then, just the time that I spent there, they were a blessing in my life. So it's a blessing to have people that can pour into you and
Yeah.
minister to you, prophesy to you. I've had more prophecy that could last me probably a lifetime. If I lived another 100 years, that would go with me, and I appreciate each and every one. My own Bishop TV Holden, I appreciate that's my brother. And I thank God for him. I thank God for him. I thank God because he allowed you to be my mentor. And he said, let the woman of God finish and push you where you need to go, woman of God. He said, you know where home at. He said, but allow prophetess, apostle, doctor. He said, let her push you. Let her. And I'm telling you, my God, if you have not been pushing and pulling, he said, I ain't let go, prophetess. You come, you got to get up. God told me I want to give in. I threw the towel in. God threw the towel back. Told me wipe my face, put the towel around my neck. Let's go. Pick the cross up. Let's go. And I'm like, oh, yes, I'm
You know,
tired.
God would never put more on a person than they could bear. I'm a strong believer of that. But watch this: to whom much is given, much is required. And because the depth of your story and your testimony is just so amazing and remarkable, you're one of many that has survived in their right mind. There are so many people that did not make it. Many committed suicide. Many were killed along the way. Many lost their minds and are now forever on medication. And you were talking about having multiple personalities, and many do have multiple personalities, and it's just an unfortunate situation that many did not make it. But I thank God on tonight that you can actually say, not only did you made it, you're a survivor, you're more than conqueror. You know what that feels like. You understand the process that you went through at your childhood, but you understand clearly that all those things work together. Amen. So we just appreciate everything that you have gone through, and now you're sitting on a platform discussing with others the things that you went through, but how God is keeping you today. And we just applaud you and appreciate you. Are you there, prophetess? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. I tell you, I'm definitely excited. I had one more question because I wanted you to share with people what it actually takes. What it actually takes for them to maintain their mindset. But it's okay. I guess. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can. You mute it. I don't know. It won't allow me to unmute you. See if it'll allow you to unmute yourself. I don't know. It's not allowing me to unmute you. You can't unmute yourself on your end. What it actually takes to um have the normal, what we call normalcy, after you've been through so many things. And see if Rayon can help you, prophetess. And after you've been through so many things in your life, after you go through all of these traumas and all of these triggers and all of this pain. I can hear you. I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yes. All of these things, what does it take to maintain every day? Is it hard for you to maintain every day? You muted yourself again. You muted yourself again.
Can you
Say
hear me
something.
now?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Okay. No, it's not hard to maintain. It's some days that the enemy do come against you, try to bring you back your past, But I thank God because when you have a prayer life,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a praying life. And
Mm-hmm.
you can't just pray once or two times a day. You have to have a steadfast, unmovable prayer life, a unmovable prayer life in God. Uh-oh. I don't know.
You still there? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but my screen then came up. Something came up here. Okay,
Okay,
there we
just
go.
I can still see you.
Okay.
One thing you said, and I want you to go more in detail. We literally need an equation to help those that don't have a relationship with God. You said prayer life, but what about the ones that don't have a relationship with God? What is their equation? What's their antidote? What should they do?
Find someone that you trust enough that you know that maybe you know someone that prays. Maybe you can go to the church, talk to the pastor wife, find a minister, find a pastor, a priest, someone that you trust, that you can talk to, you can open up to, and then trust them enough to know that you got to let this go. You cannot hold on to it any longer. And in order to be free, you need God in your life. So you need to find somebody that have a prayer life that can pray you through. And you have to be able to trust them. How do you trust them? You got to sit there and say, look, talk to yourself. Hey, we got to do this. If you want it bad enough, you're going to go for it. If you're tired, you're going to go for it. You're going to get tired of going in a circle. It's like a circle going round and round and round. If you've ever been on a trampoline, that trampoline is just round. And that's what you just jumping around and round and round. If you run around a track, you just run around and round and round and round. And you have to make up your decision in your mind. I'm tired of this life. I'm tired of being abused. I'm tired of living this type of lifestyle. Stop being ashamed. Stop being feeling like you're less. No, you are awesome. You are beautiful. You are loving. You have to tell yourself that in the mirror. I'm tired. I'm better than this. And I deserve better. I deserve better. And you have to tell yourself that every single day of your life. I'm better than this. There's a way out. I don't have to stay this way. I choose to stay here. I can get out. There's more ways than one now.
That's good, prophetess, and I'm glad you shared that because after people deal with trauma, I was speaking to one of my spiritual daughters in Dublin, Georgia. She lost her grandmother, and she
Mm,
went to another lifestyle. And so I said, I know your grandmother, and I know what your grandmother prayed over you. And I'm saying that because when you dealt with so much pain in your life, many people turn back. They become angry. They become
mhm.
bitter. They become
Yes,
resentful,
yes,
frustrated, in a
yes,
place of rage,
yes,
in a place of murder,
yes.
very chaotic, unresponsive. They check
Mhm,
out of life. It just all depends. I remember in the streets of Atlanta years ago, there was this man that came from a very prominent family in Atlanta, but he was a
mhm,
homeless man and he was a Caucasian and he walked around, his hair was matted. And I asked him one day, I said, what happened to you? He said, my family hurt me and I trusted them. And he just checked
mm.
out. And he was an attorney. He was an attorney. He
Wow,
was making very good money, had a very good lifestyle, but his family, his wife ended up having an affair. So it caused different people to
wow.
react and respond in different ways.
Yes,
So I'm
yes,
so glad you brought up the fact about prayer. Prayer is so important in anybody's life. And many people don't serve our God. People
right,
serve all different types of gods.
right.
And so, with that being said, giving them the avenue to take to find someone that you do know that have a prayer life is vitally important. If you know that someone is consistent in their prayer life, go to that person because you're going to have to find a way to obtain peace within. And
Yes,
if you cannot find that person, then you need to get your life coach, you need to get your therapist, you
mhm,
need to get maybe a group that you can sit down with and talk
right.
about life changing situations
Yes,
or life altering situations.
yes,
Whatever is going to cause you to heal and to be restored, that is actually what needs to take place. A lot of people, again, they don't make it out. They do not
No, they
make it
don't.
out, and it's an unfortunate situation. But I thank
Mhm.
God for your transparency on tonight and your willingness to share some of your testimony. Your story is so vast. It's just amazing every time I hear you share the things that you've experienced in your life, but where you were and where God has brought you to this point. It's just extraordinary. So again, I applaud your survival. I applaud your
Yes, Lord.
confidence. I applaud your intelligence. I applaud you just being in your right mind. The stability, that's a gift all by itself, because again, a lot of people didn't make it. A lot of
No.
people lost their mind. And then you were talking about earlier how you just wanted to slit your wrist. I met several women along this path
Hmm.
and journey that cut
Mm, mm,
themselves
mm.
to transition their pain.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people along this journey that put tattoos on their body to transition their pain. I met a lot of people along the way that become, like you said, very promiscuous, sleep around with women and men to cause the
Mhm.
pain to subside. But we don't want your pain to subside. We want you to be healed.
Yes, right. That's right.
So we want you to be healed. We want you to be whole. We want you to be restored, delivered,
Yeah.
whatever it takes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's our ultimate desire. You have any
Mm.
final words on tonight, Prophetess?
Apostle, I appreciate this. I thank God that you allowed me to come on. We need to take more inventory as parents and our children. When you see them doing odd things that they don't normally do, please take the time to find out. Don't abuse them. Don't call them out their name. Don't call them things that would hurt them, damage them. They have to develop, and they would develop into what you call them. Whatever you put in them, that's what they will grow up a lot of times to develop. If you tell them they loving, if you tell them they're this, if you tell them they bad, you evil, you this, guess what? It plants a seed in their mind. Take the time. My mother called us prophets, prophetess, evangelists, missionaries. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got your prophetess. I started drinking and doing everything else because of the hurt and because of the pain. I did not want to do that because I was raised in it. I did not. I was tired. My mother prayed us, almost prayed us to death. We read the Bible. We went to church. I was like, I can't wait to get out so I can party. I can drink and do what I want, go to the club. She still came to my house with my friends. She made us pray. She said, you going to the club, you going to pray before you go. She said, "'Cause I want protection of you." I was like, I just can't shake this woman. Can I?
I love it. You gotta love it.
I
You have to
love
love
her.
it.
I appreciate her because she taught us what was valuable that took us to now. A lot of my associates and friends that I grew up with said, thank God for Miss Box, because Miss Box taught us how to pray. Miss
Amen.
Box taught us about reading the Bible. Miss Box taught us how to cook. I thank God for my mother. I
Jesus.
thank God for the prayers. I thank God for the fasting. I thank God for the love that she showed us. She didn't beat us and tell us to get out, and she hugged us. Even when I got pregnant, she told me, she said, we're gonna have this baby. I wanted to go get an abortion because I was embarrassed and I knew I hurt her. She said, she said, old head did it, old head gonna tell it. You was old enough to do it, you was old enough to do it.
I thank God for you on tonight, Prophetess Shay. Your mom definitely is a woman of wisdom. I never forget the first time I met her when I was in Saginaw, Michigan. She was just a flower, just ready to bloom and blossom. And her opening up to receive me and my ministry based on the fact that it's so radical. But I thank God for your mom and the prayer life that she had and what she bestowed and instilled on the inside of you. On tonight, listen, I'm just excited about everything. This call is always phenomenal. You all that are listening, if you know someone that have dealt with trauma, first thing you need to do is dial 911. The second thing you need to do is ask them for help. Well, how can you help? How can you be a help to them? It's vitally important that we know and we understand how to direct people in the midst of traumatic situations. These things in people's lives that people don't like to discuss many times can go either way. It could turn a person away to a worse lifestyle, or it can make it better. We want to be the part that help heal. We want to be a part of the healing process. So in order for us to do that, we have to show our support and our willingness to be able to assist them in whatever the situation. Everything is not catastrophic, although it looks catastrophic. You have to be there to support and ready to step in and lend a hand. This is the love language that we want to give, and we want to show this language on a consistent basis. I'm telling you, I'm excited, and thank you so much again for my guest on tonight, Prophetess Lecretia Roscoe. And I'm telling you, she has such a dynamic testimony. We applaud her for what she brought to the platform on tonight. From the age of 5 is what she said. She said that she had experience dealing with molestation and rape. At 11, it was then that she was able to have the confidence to share with her mom. And then again at 15, 16 years old, after being at a party and drinking, yet again, she was gang raped. Are you all listening to her story? But watch this. She found a way out of all of that. At the age 29, she gave her life to Christ, and then she was on a street called straight. It wasn't easy. Things are not going to be easy. The process is not going to be easy. Just make sure in the midst of it all that you are consistent. So that's our call on tonight. That's the conversation piece on tonight. Recovering from trauma. You have to want it. You have to desire to want to be healed, to want to be free, and stop living in dark places or shadows. You don't have to be a shadow dweller. Know how to live life in what we call normal, and it's okay for you to be healed. So I'm excited about you on tonight. And if we have said something to assist you in any type of way, then our job here is done. This is, again, Rescue Refine Coaching and Counseling, and I'm your certified life coach on tonight, Dr. Cint Gilstrap. You that are listening under the sound of my voice, if you want to send me an email, you're more than welcome to do so. The email address is r3.coachingcounseling@gmail.com. Or you can reserve a time to discuss things with me if you choose to. Go to our website at www.cgmenterprises.org. And that's our segment for tonight. Thank you again, all of you, for listening on tonight to Rescue, Refine, Restore Coaching and Counseling. Boy, it is so much. I guess I'll stick with R3CC. And we appreciate you. Go back, tag, and share, and invite. Until the next time, you all have a wonderful, powerful, prosperous night. Bye-bye.
Need life coaching? Rescue, Refine, Restore Coaching and Counseling with Dr. Cint Gilstrap is a life transformational coach and has experiential training to transform and help you discover your best life yet. For all of your coaching and counseling needs, simply visit www.cgmenterprises.org.